This is the word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. Now at that time, the king of Babylon's army was besieging Jerusalem. Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the guard, which was in the king of Judah's house. For Zedekiah, king of Judah, had shut him up, saying, "Why do you prophesy and say, Yahweh says, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will take it, and Zedekiah, king of Judah, won't escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but will surely be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon, and will speak with him mouth to mouth, and his eyes will see his eyes, and he will bring Zedekiah to Babylon, and he will be there until I visit him, says Yahweh. Though you fight with the Chaldeans, you will not prosper." Jeremiah said, "Yahweh's word came to me, saying, Behold, Hanamel, the son of Shallum, your uncle will come to you, saying, Buy my field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption to yours to buy it." So Hanamel, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the guard according to Yahweh's word, and said to me, Please buy my field that is in Anathoth, which is in the land of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is yours, and the redemption is yours. Buy it for yourself. Then I knew that this was Yahweh's word. I bought the field that was in Anathoth of Hanamel, my uncle's son, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. I signed that deal, sealed it, called witnesses, weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. I signed the deal, sealed it, called witnesses, and weighed the money in the balances to him. So I took the deed of the purchase, both that which was sealed, containing the terms and conditions, and that which was open, and I delivered the deed of the purchase to Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the presence of Hanamel, my uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses who signed the deed of the purchase, before all the Jews who sat in the court of the guard. I commanded Baruch before them, saying, Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, Take those deeds, this deed of the purchase which is sealed, and this deed which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel, that they may last many days. For Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, House and field and vineyard will yet again be bought in this land. Now after I had delivered the deed of the purchase to Baruch the son of Neriah, I prayed to Yahweh, saying, Ah, Lord Yahweh, behold, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and by your outstretched arm. There is nothing too hard for you. You show loving kindness to thousands, and repay the iniquity of the father into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, Yahweh of armies, is your name, great in counsel and mighty in work, whose eyes are open to all the ways of the children of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing, who performed signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even to this day, both in Israel and among other men, and made yourself a name, as it is today, and brought your people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs, with wonders, with a strong hand, with an outstretched arm, and with great terror, and gave them this land which you swore to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. They came in and possessed it, but they didn't obey your voice and didn't walk in your law. They have nothing of all that you commanded them to do. Therefore, you have caused all this evil to come upon them. Behold, siege ramps have been built against the city to take it. The city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans, who fight against it because of the sword, of the famine, and of the pestilence. What you have spoken has happened. Behold, you see it. You have said to me, Lord Yahweh, buy the field for money and call witnesses, whereas the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Then Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am Yahweh, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Therefore Yahweh says, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and he will take it. The Chaldeans who fight against this city will come and set this city on fire, and burn it with the houses on whose roof they have offered incense to Baal, and poured out drink offerings to other gods, to provoke me to anger. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have done only that which was evil in my sight from their youth. For the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, says Yahweh. For this city has been to me a provocation of my anger and of my wrath, from the day that they built it, even to this day, so that I should remove it from before my face, because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, their prophets, the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, they have turned their backs to me, and not their faces. Although I taught them, rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not listened to receive instruction, but they set their abomination in the house which is called by my name to defile it. They built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the sons of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through fire to Molech, which I didn't command them. And it didn't even come into my mind that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. Now therefore, Yahweh the God of Israel says concerning this city about which you say, It is given into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, by the famine, and by pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all the countries where I have driven them in my anger, and in my wrath, and in great indignation, and I will bring them again to this place. I will cause them to dwell safely. Then they will be my people, and I will be their God. I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for their good, and for the good of their children after them. I will make an everlasting covenant with him, that I will not turn away from following them, to do them good. I will put my fear in their hearts, that they may not depart from me. Yes, I will rejoice over them to do good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. For Yahweh says, just as I have brought all this great evil on this people, so I will bring them all good that I have promised them. Fields will be bought in this land, about which you say, It is desolate without man or animal. It is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Men will buy fields for money, sign the deeds, seal them, and call witnesses in the land of Benjamin, and in the places around Jerusalem, in the cities of Judah, in the cities of the hill country, in the cities of the lowlands, and in the cities of the south. For I will cause their captivity to be reversed, says Yahweh. Moreover, Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah the second time, while he was still locked in the court of the guard, saying, Yahweh who does it, Yahweh who forms it to establish it, Yahweh is his name, says, Call to me, and I will answer you, and will show you great and difficult things which you don't know. For Yahweh the God of Israel says concerning the houses of this city, and concerning the houses of the kings of Judah, which are broken down to make a defense against the mounds and against the sword, while men come to fight with the Chaldeans, to fill them with the dead bodies of men, whom I have killed in my anger and in my wrath, and for all whose wickedness I have hidden my face from the city. Behold, I will bring it health and healing, and I will cure them, and I will reveal to them abundance of peace and truth. I will restore the fortunes of Judah and Israel, and will build them as at the first. I will cleanse them from all their iniquity by which they have sinned against me. I will pardon all their iniquities by which they have sinned against me, and by which they have transgressed against me. This city will be to me for a name of joy, for praise, and for glory before all the nations of the earth, which will hear all the good that I do to them, and will fear and tremble for all the good and for all the peace that I provide to it. Yahweh says, Yet again there will be heard in this place about which you say, It is a waste without man and without animal, even in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate, without man and without inhabitant and without animal, the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the voice of those who say, Give thanks for Yahweh of armies, for Yahweh is good, for his loving kindness endures forever, who brings thanksgiving to Yahweh's house, for I will cause the captivity of the land to be reversed at the first, says Yahweh. Yahweh of armies says, Yet again there will be in this place, which is waste without man and without animal, and in all its cities a habitation of shepherds, causing their flocks to lie down, in the cities of the hill country, in the cities of the lowlands, in the cities of the south, in the land of Benjamin, under the place around Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, the flocks will again pass under the hands of him who counts them, says Yahweh. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will perform that good word which I have spoken concerning the house of Israel and concerning the house of Judah. In those days and at that time I will cause a branch of righteousness to grow up to David. He will execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell safely. This is the name by which she shall be called, Yahweh, our righteous. For Yahweh says, David will never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel. The Levitical priests won't lack a man before me to offer burnt offerings, to burn meal offerings, and to do sacrifice continually. Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah, saying, Yahweh says, If you can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, so that there will not be day and night in their time, then my covenant could also be broken with David my servant, and he won't have a son to reign in his throne, and with the Levitical priests, my ministers, as the army of the sky can't be counted and the sand of the sea can't be measured, so I will multiply the offspring of David my servant and the Levites who minister to me. Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah, saying, Don't consider what this people has spoken, saying, Has Yahweh cast off the two families which he chose? Thus they despise my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. Yahweh says, If my covenant of day and night fails, if I have not appointed the ordinance of heaven and earth, then I will also cast away the offspring of Jacob and of David my servant, so that I will not take of his offspring to be rulers over the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to be reversed, and will have mercy on them. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, when Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon with his army, all the kingdoms of the earth that were under his dominion, and all the peoples were fighting against Jerusalem, and against all its cities, saying, Yahweh the God of Israel says, Go and speak to Zedekiah king of Judah, and tell him, Yahweh says, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of king of Babylon, and he will burn it with fire. You won't escape out of his hand, but will surely be taken and delivered into his hand. Your eyes will see the eyes of the king of Babylon, and he will speak with you mouth to mouth. You will go to Babylon. Yet hear Yahweh's word, O Zedekiah king of Judah. Yahweh says concerning you, You won't die by the sword, you will die in peace, and with the burnings of your fathers, the former kings who were before you, so that they will make a burning for you. They will lament you, saying, Ah, Lord, for I have spoken the word, says Yahweh. Then Jeremiah the prophet spoke all these words to Zedekiah king of Judah in Jerusalem, when the king of Babylon's army was fighting against Jerusalem, and against all the cities of Judah that were left, against Lachish and against Azekah, for these alone remained of the cities of Judah as fortified cities. The word came to Jeremiah from Yahweh after King Zedekiah made a covenant with all the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim liberty to them, that every man should let his male servant and every man his female servant who is a Hebrew or a Hebrewess go free, that no one should make a bondservant of them, of a Jew his brother. All the princes and all the people obeyed who had entered into the covenant, that everyone should let his male servant and everyone his female servant go free, that no one should make bondservants of them any more. They obeyed and let them go. But afterwards they turned and caused the servants and handmaids whom they had let free to return, and brought them into subjugation for servants and for handmaids. Therefore Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Yahweh the God of Israel says, I made a covenant with your fathers in the days that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the hand of bondage, saying, At the end of 17 years, every man of you shall release his brother who is a Hebrew, who has been sold to you, and has served you 6 years. You shall let him go free from you. But your fathers didn't listen to me, and didn't incline their ear. You had now turned, and had done that which is right in my eyes, in every man proclaiming liberty to his neighbour. You had made a covenant before me, in the house which is called by my name. But you turned and profaned my name, and every man caused his servant, and every man his handmaid, whom you had let go, free at their pleasure, to return. You brought them into subjugation, to be to you for servants and for handmaids. Therefore Yahweh says, you have not listened to me to proclaim liberty, every man to his brother, and every man to his neighbour. Behold, I proclaim to you a liberty, says Yahweh, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the famine. I will make you be tossed back and forth among all the kingdoms of the earth. I will give the men who have transgressed my covenant, who have not performed the words of the covenant which they made before me when they cut the half in two and passed between its parts, the princes of Judah, the princes of Jerusalem, the eunuchs, the priests, and all the people of the land who passed between the parts of the calf. I will even give them into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life. Their dead bodies will be food for the birds of the sky, and for the animals of the earth. I will give Zedekiah king of Judah and his princes into the hands of their enemies, into the hands of those who seek their life, and into the hands of the king of Babylon's army, who has gone away from you. Behold, I will command it, says Yahweh, and cause them to retreat to the city. They will fight against it, take it, burn it with fire. I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitants. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, saying, Go to the house of the Rechabites, and speak to them, and bring them into Yahweh's house, into one of the rooms, and give them wine to drink. Then I took Jaanaziah, the son of Jeremiah, the son of Habazineah, with his brothers, all his sons, and the whole house of the Rechabites, and I brought them into Yahweh's house, into the room of the sons of Hanan, the sons of Igdaliah, the man of God, which was by the room of the princes, which was above the room of Maaseiah, the son of Shallum, the keeper of the threshold. I set before the sons of the house of the Rechabites bowls full of wine, and cups, and I said to them, Drink wine. But they said, We will drink no wine, for Jonadab the son of Rechab our father commanded us, saying, You shall drink no wine, neither you nor your children forever. You shall not build a house, sow seeds, plant a vineyard, or have any, but all your days you shall dwell in tents, that you may live many days in the land which you live as nomads. We have obeyed the voice of Jonadab the son of Rechab our father in all that he commanded us, to drink no wine all our days, we, our wives, our sons, or our daughters, and not to build houses for ourselves to dwell in. We have no vineyard, seed, or field, but we have lived in tents, and have obeyed and done according to all that Jonadab our father commanded us. But when Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came up into the land, we said, Come, let's go to Jerusalem, for fear of the army of the Chaldeans, and for fear of the army of the Syrians. So we will dwell at Jerusalem. Then Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah, saying, Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, Go and tell the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, Will you not receive instruction to listen to my words? Says Yahweh. The words of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, that he commanded his sons not to drink wine, are performed, and to this day they drink none, for they obey their father's commandment. But I have spoken to you, rising up early and speaking, and you have not listened to me. I have sent also to you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, Every one of you must return now from his evil way. Amend your doings, and don't go after other gods to serve them. Then you will dwell in the land which I have given to you and to your fathers. But you have not inclined your ear, nor listened to me. The sons of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, have performed the commandment of their father, which he commanded them. But this people has not listened to me. Therefore Yahweh the God of armies, the God of Israel, says, Behold, I will bring on Judah, and on all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, all the evil which I have pronounced against them, because I have spoken to them. But they have not heard, and I have called them, but they have not answered. Jeremiah said to the house of the Rechabites, Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, Because you have obeyed the commandment of Jonadab your father, and kept all his precepts, and done according to all that he commanded you, therefore Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, Jonadab the son of Rechab will not lack a man to stand before me forever. In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Take a scroll of a book, and write in it all the words that I have spoken to you against Israel, against Judah, and against all the nations from the day I spoke to you, from the days of Josiah, even to this day. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I intend to do to them, that they may each return from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then Jeremiah called Baruch the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all Yahweh's words, which he had spoken to him, on a scroll of a book. Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am restricted. I can't go into Yahweh's house. Therefore you go and read from the scroll which you have written from my mouth, Yahweh's words, in the ear of the people in Yahweh's house on the fast day. Also, you shall read them in the ear of all Judah who come out of the cities. It may be that they will present their supplication before Yahweh, and will each return from his evil way. For Yahweh has pronounced great anger and wrath against his people. Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, in reading the book in Yahweh's words in Yahweh's house. Now in the 5th year of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah king of Judah, in the 9th month, all the people in Jerusalem, and all the people who came from the cities of Judah to Jerusalem, proclaimed a fast before Yahweh. Then Baruch read the words of Jeremiah from the book in Yahweh's house, in the room of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan the scribe, in the upper court, at the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house, in the ears of all the people. When Micaiah the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard all of the book of Yahweh's words, he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's room, and behold, all the princes were sitting there. Elishama the scribe, Delaiah the son of Shemaiah, Elnathan the son of Achbor, Gemariah the son of Shaphan, Zedekiah the son of Hananiah, and all the princes. Then Micaiah declared to them all the words that he had heard when Baruch read the book in the ears of the people. Therefore all the princes sent to Jehudi the son of Nethaniah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Cushi, to Baruch, saying, Take in your hand the scroll in which you have read in the ears of the people, and come. So Baruch the son of Neriah took the scroll in his hand and came to them. They said to him, Sit down now and read it in our hearing. So Baruch read it in their hearing. But when they had heard all the words, they turned in fear to one another and said to Baruch, We will surely tell the king of these words. They asked Baruch, saying, Tell us now, how did you write all these words at his mouth? Then Baruch answered, He dictated all these words to me with his mouth. I wrote them with ink in the book. Then the princes said to Baruch, You and Jeremiah, go hide. Don't let anyone know where you are. They went in to the king, into the court. They had laid up the scroll in the room of Elishama the scribe. Then they took all the words, they told all the words in the hearing of the king. So the king sent Jehudi to get the scroll, and he took it out of the room of Elishama the scribe. Jehudi read it in the hearing of the king, and in the hearing of the princes who stood beside the king. Now the king was sitting in the winter house in the 9 months, and there was a fire in the brazier burning before him. When Jehudi had read 3 or 4 columns, the king cut it with the penknife and cast it into the fire that was in the brazier, until the scroll was consumed in the fire that was in the brazier. The king and his servants who heard all these words were not afraid, and didn't tear their garments. Moreover, Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah had made intercession to the king that he would not burn the scroll, but he would not listen to them. The king commanded Jerahmeel, the king's son, and Seraiah the son of Azareel, and Shelmiah the son of Abdeel, to arrest Baruch the scribe, and Jeremiah the prophet. But Yahweh hid them. Then Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah, After the king had burned the scroll, and the words which Baruch wrote at the mouth of Jeremiah, saying, "Take another scroll, and write in it all the former words that were in the first scroll, which Jehoiakim the king of Judah had burned. Concerning Jehoiakim king of Judah you shall say, Yahweh says, you have burnt this scroll, saying, why have you written therein, saying, the king of Babylon will most certainly come and destroy this land, and will cause to cease from there man and animal. Therefore, Yahweh says concerning Jehoiakim king of Judah, he will have no one to sit on David's throne. His dead body will be cast out in the day to the heat, and in the night to the frost. I will punish him, his offspring, and his servants for their iniquity. I will bring on them, on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and on the men of Judah, all the evil that I have pronounced against them. But they didn't listen. Then Jeremiah took another scroll, and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote therein from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the book, which Jehoiakim, king of Judah, had burnt in the fire, and many similar words were added to them. Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, reigned as king instead of Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, made king in the land of Judah. But neither he, nor his servants, nor the people of the land listened to Yahweh's words, which he spoke by the prophet Jeremiah. Zedekiah the king sent Jehucal the son of Shelemiah, and Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah the priest, to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Pray now to Yahweh our God for us. Now Jeremiah came in and went out among the people, for they had not put him into prison. Pharaoh's army had come out of Egypt, and when the Chaldeans, who were besieging Jerusalem, heard news of them, they withdrew from Jerusalem. Then Yahweh's word came to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Yahweh God of Israel says, You shall tell the king of Judah, who sent you to me, to inquire of me, Behold, Pharaoh's army, which has come out to help you, will return to Egypt, into their own land. The Chaldeans will again come and fight against this city. They will take it and burn it with fire. Yahweh says, Don't deceive yourselves, saying, The Chaldeans will surely depart from us. For they will not depart. For though you had struck the whole army of the Chaldeans who fight against you, and only wounded men remained among them, they would each rise up in his tent and burn this city with fire. When the army of the Chaldeans had withdrawn from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's army, then Jeremiah went out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin, to receive his portion there in the middle of the people. When he was in Benjamin's gate, a captain of the guard was there, whose name was Irijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah, and he seized Jeremiah the prophet, saying, You are defecting to the Chaldeans. Then Jeremiah said, That is false. I am not defecting to the Chaldeans. But he didn't listen to him. So Irijah seized Jeremiah and brought him to the princes. The princes were angry with Jeremiah and struck him, and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah had come into the dungeon and into the cells, and Jeremiah remained there many days, then Zedekiah the king sent and had him brought out. The king asked him secretly in his house, Is there any word for Yahweh? Jeremiah said, "There is." He also said, "You will be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon." Moreover, Jeremiah said to King Zedekiah, "How have I sinned against you, against your prophets, against this people, that you have put me in prison? Now where are your prophets who prophesied to you, saying, 'The king of Babylon will not come against you, nor against this land'? Now please hear, my lord the king. Please let my supplication be presented to you, that you not cause me to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there." Then Zedekiah the king commanded, and they committed Jeremiah into the court of the guard. They gave him a loaf of bread out of the baker's street, until all the bread of the city was gone. Thus Jeremiah remained in the court of the guard. Shephatiah the son of Mattan, Gedaliah the son of Pashur, Jucal the son of Shelemiah, and Pashur the son of Malchijah heard the words that Jeremiah spoke to all the people, saying, "Yahweh says, he who remains in this city will die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. But he who goes out to the Chaldeans will live. He will escape with his life, and he will live. Yahweh says, this city will surely be given into the hand of the army of the king of Babylon, and he will take it." Then the princes said to the king, "Please let this man be put to death, because he weakens the hand of the men of war who remain in the city, and the hands of all the people in speaking such words to them. For this man doesn't seek the welfare of this people, but harm." Zedekiah the king said, "Behold, he is in your hand, for the king can't do anything to oppose you." Then they took Jeremiah and threw him into the dungeon of Malchijah, the king's son, that was in the court of the guard. They let down Jeremiah with cords. In the dungeon there was no water, but mire, and Jeremiah sank in the mire. Now, when Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, a eunuch who was in the king's house, heard that they had put Jeremiah in the dungeon, the king was then sitting in Benjamin's gate, Ebed-melech went out of the king's house and spoke to the king, saying, "My lord the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon. He is likely to die in the place where he is because of the famine, for there is no more bread in the city." Then the king commanded Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, saying, "Take from here 30 men with you, and take up Jeremiah the prophet out of the dungeon before he dies." So Ebed-melech took the men with him, went into the house of the king under the treasury, and took from there rags and worn-out garments, and let them down by cords into the dungeon to Jeremiah. Ebed-melech the Ethiopian said to Jeremiah, "Now pull these rags and worn-out garments under your armpits, under the cords." Jeremiah did so. So they lifted Jeremiah up with the cords, and took him out of the dungeon, and Jeremiah remained in the court of the guard. Then Zedekiah the king sent, and took Jeremiah the prophet to himself, into the third entry that is in Yahweh's house. Then the king said to Jeremiah, "I will ask you something. Hide nothing from me." Then Jeremiah said to Zedekiah, "If I declare to you, will you not surely put me to death? If I give you counsel, You will not listen to me." So Zedekiah the king swore secretly to Jeremiah, saying, "As Yahweh lives, who made our souls, I will not put you to death, neither will I give you into the hands of these men who seek your life." Then Jeremiah said to Zedekiah, "Yahweh, the God of armies, the God of Israel, says, if you will go out to the king of Babylon's princes, then your soul will live, and this city will not be burned with fire. You will live along with your house. But if you will not go out to the king of Babylon's princes, then this city will be given into the hand of the Chaldeans, and they will burn it with fire, and you won't escape out of their hand." Zedekiah the king said to Jeremiah, "I am afraid of the Jews, who have defected to the Chaldeans, lest they deliver me into their hand, and they mock me." But Jeremiah said, "They won't deliver you. Obey, I beg you, Yahweh's voice in that which I speak to you, so that it will be well with you, and your soul will live. But if you refuse to go out, this is the word that Yahweh has shown me. Behold, all the women who are left in the king of Judah's house will be brought out to the king of Babylon's princes, and these women will say, 'Your familiar friends have turned on you, and have prevailed over you. Your feet are sunk in the mire. They have turned away from you. They will bring out all your wives of the children to the Chaldeans. You won't escape out of their hand, but will be taken by the hand of the king of Babylon. You will cause this city to be burned with fire.'" Then Zedekiah said to Jeremiah, "Let no man know of these words, and you won't die. But if the princes hear that I have talked with you, and they come to you, and tell you, 'Declare to us now that what you have said to the king, don't hide it from us, and we will not put you to death. Also, tell us what the king said to you,' then you shall tell them, 'I presented my supplication before the king, that he would not cause me to return to Jonathan's house to die there.'" Then all the princes came to Jeremiah and asked him, and he told them according to all these words that the king had commanded. So they stopped speaking with him, for the matter was not perceived. So Jeremiah stayed in the court of the guard until the day that Jerusalem was taken. In the 9th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army came against Jerusalem and besieged it. In the 11th month of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, a breach was made in the city. All the princes of the king of Babylon came in and sat in the middle gate: Nergal-Sharezer, Sam-Ginabo, Sarsakim the Rabsari, Nergal the Sharvazem, the Ramag, with the rest of the princes of the city of Babylon. When Zedekiah the king of Judah and all the men of war saw them, then they fled and went out of the city by night, by way of the king's garden, through the gate between the two walls, and he went out towards Arabah. But the army of the Chaldeans pursued them, and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho. When they had taken him, they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, to Riblah in the land of Hamath, and he pronounced judgment on him. Then the king of Babylon killed Zedekiah's sons in Riblah before his eyes. The king of Babylon also killed all the nobles of Judah. Moreover, he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him in fetters to carry him to Babylon. The Chaldeans burned the king's house and the people's house with fire, and broke down the walls of Jerusalem. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carried away captive into Babylon the rest of the people who remained in the city, the deserters, who also fell away to him, and the rest of the people who remained. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left of all the poor people who had nothing in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. Now Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, commanded Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, concerning Jeremiah, saying, "Take him, and take care of him. Do him no harm, but do to him even as he tells you." So Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, Nebuchadnezzar, Rabsarin, and Nergal-Sharezer, Rabmag, and all the chief officers of the kings of Babylon, sent and took Jeremiah out of the court of the guard, and committed him to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, that he should bring him home. So he lived among the people. Now Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah while he was shut up in the court of the guard, saying, "Go and speak to Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, saying, Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, says, Behold, I will bring my words on this city for evil and not for good, and they will be accomplished before you in that day. But I will deliver you in that day, says Yahweh, and you will not be given into the hand of the men of whom you are afraid. For surely I will save you. You won't fall by the sword, but you will escape with your life, because you have put your trust in me, says Yahweh." The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, after Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had let him go from Ramah, when he had taken him from being bound in chains among all the captives of Jerusalem and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon. The captain of the guard took Jeremiah and said to him, "Yahweh your God pronounced evil in this place, and Yahweh has brought it and has done according to what he spoke. Because you have sinned against Yahweh and have not obeyed his voice, therefore this thing has come upon you. Now, behold, I release you today from the chains which are on your hand. If it seems good to you to come with me into Babylon, come, and I will take care of you. But if it seems bad to you to come with me into Babylon, don't. Behold, the land is before you. Where it seems good and right to you to go, go there." Now while he had not yet gone back, "Go back then," he said, "to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, whom the king of Babylon has made governor over the cities of Judah, and dwell with him among the people, or go wherever it seems right to you." So the captain of the guard gave him food and a present, and let him go. Then Jeremiah went to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, to Mizpah, and lived there with him among the people who were left in the land. Now when all the captains of the forces who were in the fields, even they and their men, heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah the son of Ahikam governor in the land, and had committed to him men, women, and children of the poorest of the land, of those who were not carried away captive to Babylon, then Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, and Jonathan, and Johanan the sons of Kareah, and Seraiah the son of Talmihith, and the sons of Ephi, the Netophathite, and Jezaniah the son of Maachathite, they and their men came to Gedaliah to Mizpah. Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, swore to them and to their men, saying, "Don't be afraid to serve the Chaldeans. Dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon, and it will be well with you. As for me, behold, I will dwell in Mizpah, to stand before the Chaldeans, who will come to us. But you, gather wine and some fruits and oil, and put them in your vessels, and dwell in your cities that you have taken." Likewise, when all the Jews who were in Moab, and among the children of Ammon, and in Edom, and who were in all the countries, heard that the king of Babylon had left a remnant in Judah, and that he had set them over Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, then all the Jews returned out of all places where they were driven, and came to the land of Judah, to Gedaliah, to Mizpah, and gathered very much wine and summer fruits. Moreover, Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces who were in the fields, came to Gedaliah to Mizpah, and said to them, Do you know that Baalis, the king of the children of Ammon, has sent Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, to take your life? But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, didn't believe them. Johanan, the son of Kareah, spoke to Gedaliah in Mizpah secretly, saying, Please let me go, and I will kill Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and no man will know. Why should he take your life, that all the Jews that are gathered to you should be scattered, and the remnant of Judah perish? But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, said to Johanan, the son of Kareah, You shall not do this thing, for you speak falsely of Ishmael.